Thank you, Madam President. And let me join others in thanking you, Special Representative Keita, for your briefing, and through you, the men and women of MONUSCO, who are operating under extremely difficult circumstances and whose efforts we highly admire and support. We also thank Ambassador Kanu for his 1533 chair statement. Madam President, the situation in Eastern DRC remains critical. Allow me to raise 4 key points. First, Denmark welcomes the signing of the peace agreement today between the DRC and Rwanda and facilitated by the United States. Like others, we express our hope that the parties will continue to engage in good faith to ensure the successful implementation of this agreement. Similarly, we remain hopeful that the parties will engage meaningfully in the ongoing talks in Doha. It is important that all ongoing talks feed into and naturally support the process led by the President of Togo as the African Union appointed mediator in the conflict. We encourage the active support of the countries in the Great Lakes region in this regard. As we've said before, there's no military solution to this conflict, only a political one that is inclusive and representative of all Congolese society. We urge the meaningful participation in these talks of women, civil society, and diverse groups in the Congolese society. Second, Madam President, as we look ahead, we must not forget that the civilians in the area under M23 control in North and South Kivu had paid and continue to pay the heaviest price in this conflict. The findings of the OHCHR fact-finding mission in DRC are deeply troubling, with reports of severe human rights violations, from widespread arbitrary arrests and enforced disappearances to sexual and gender-based violence. Those who speak out, including human rights defenders, journalists, and civil society, are particularly threatened. We condemn such acts and support all efforts to hold the perpetrators accountable. Impunity for grave crimes must end, and accountability be ensured. We welcome MONUSCO's contribution in this regard. Third, Madam President, these worrying developments are taking place against the backdrop of a deepening humanitarian crisis. The sharp escalation of violence, coupled with funding cuts, humanitarian restrictions, and looting of humanitarian and medical facilities have further exacerbated civilian suffering. Concretely, this means that the survivors of sexual and gender-based violence are not able to get the care they need across North and South Kivu. It also means that preventable diseases, including polio and measles, could rapidly spread, including beyond the borders of DRC. We reiterate that all parties must uphold international humanitarian law and respect humanitarian principles, including by restoring basic services and allowing the full, safe, immediate and unhindered access of humanitarian aid and medical personnel to reach the millions in need. Finally, Madam President, we express our deep concern about the obstructions of MONUSCO's operations. The continued closure of Goma Airport hinders the delivery of humanitarian aid and goods, troop rotation, and the ability to evacuate civilians and UN staff. We remind all parties of their humanitarian obligations. We urge M23 to lift all restrictions on MONUSCO and refrain from actions which prevent the mission from discharging its mandate or endanger the safety and security of UN personnel. Such obstructions are in clear violation of Resolution 2773 and may constitute basis for sanctions designations pursuant to Security Council resolutions. Madam President, let me conclude by reiterating our call on Rwanda to withdraw its troops from the Eastern DRC and end its support to M23, and our call to the DRC to neutralize the FDLR and counter hate speech. We express our full support to MONUSCO, mandated by this Council to protect civilians as its primary task and to assist the DRC government in its path towards stability. I thank you.